it happens to the best of us, right? You and me both, if we play Rocket League, right, we've both gone up in the air to try and get something or another, and we both just mess up with our boost sometimes, and it happens to even the best players, as is showcased here.
Absolutely, it happens to, like you said, even the best players, and it's going to be something to keep an eye out on as well. Ooh. It's going to be another great shot from Trix, but unfortunately not able to find anything.
No, and that was very close. The rebound shot there could have gone in, but instead it just rolls tantalizingly close along the goal.
Yeah, it's going to be waiting here to see what's going to be coming out next. And like you said, very close to the goal line, but very close only counts in horseshoes, and this is definitely not a game of horseshoes coming from these teams. Royce is going to be able to take out Trix there super early on. It's going to be some great value moving forward, but now the demo, I mean, it lasts literally 2.5 seconds, so unless you know it's coming, you're not going to be able to really capitalize off of it.
No, exactly. You have 3 seconds before your opponent respawns, right? And that's a smoke screen as well that you have to deal with, and so do your opponents, as Clover puts it in, and that's 2-0. Great pass out from the back wall, and that was almost saved by his own teammate too, who made the pass out, but luckily goes into the back of the net. Disastrous rotation there, and well, it's 2-0.
Absolutely, it is going to be 2-0 there in favor of Colorado. And UConn, we talked about this being close, but a 2-0 deficit already is going to be looking very, very good for Colorado. Goes for the double tap and finds it. Flover with a phenomenal turnaround. I say 2-0, and before I can even finish my sentence, it's going to be 3-0.
And, well, they're starting to run a bit away with this. It's a little bit rough around the edges right now for this UConn team. They normally are very strong rotational-wise, but right now, just Colorado's just realized how weak the rotation is, because they're just bringing it in solo at this point. They're not even making team plays, and they're able to score it.
Yeah, absolutely. We see that a lot between a lot of teams, is they really start to struggle when they're playing more as individuals and less of a team. But so far for Colorado, that is not hurting them quite yet up against UConn.
I mean, I mean that they are able to do some team plays, right? They've done a lot of team plays. That second goal was clearly a full team play, but they're able to bring it in by themselves, and they're not pressured much, because the rotations just aren't that smart and aren't that fast compared to Colorado's.
Yeah, and I think
I don't want to diss UConn.
No, of course. I think we're seeing the same issue from UConn that we saw from Manhattan in the game before. This one is they're committing to things just a little bit too early, or possibly just a little bit too late. It's kind of, there's either not enough trigger discipline or there's too much. So UConn is always kind of just a moment late, and that time Droyce is able to find the defensive block on ball there. So Colorado, they're able to keep this goal, or able to keep this lead, but UConn going to be preventing a goal. So the score only going to be 3-0, but as we get into that 1 minute left on the clock, it's going to be very difficult for UConn to score 3 times.
Clover is in the midfield there, and he's trying to get the ball cleared out, but UConn finally finding their rhythm a bit. They're keeping it in the offensive zone. They've done so pretty well. Some good rotations here on the offense, and some good bumps against the defense, and so they're able to keep ball possession. And that's going to lead into their first goal.
Nice.
Beautifully done. That was a beautiful set play, and they kept ball possession there for at least 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And that completely allowed them to just score that.
You know, they definitely had some good aggression coming out there. It looks like they're pulling a little bit of a Delaware. Quantum, I know you weren't here when that happened, but those who were watching earlier today, Delaware lost that first game over against Seton Hall, and then just kicked momentum in their favor in 5th gear. And it looks like UConn, they'd be getting danger close to doing that same thing. The start of the game is a little bit rough for them, and even if they lose this first one, we're already seeing their momentum kind of kicking up a little bit.
Right, exactly. And UConn is already starting up here. They got themselves into the groove. The first game can be quite the devilish one, right? Where you don't exactly know how to play up against your opponents, and you know that this is a 5-game series, right? This isn't exactly playing into solo queue where you need to absolutely show all of your cards right away. Right now, they can't afford to show all their cards.
Right, absolutely. They cannot put all their cards down on the table in this first game, but it is going to end in favor of Colorado there. And while we've got a brief time between games, I do want to address that we are going to be, we are seeing in Colorado's names, we're seeing hashtag Boulder Strong, and without going into things, we just want to extend our love from the entirety of the EGF family. We love and express kind of all of our gratitude and hopes to you guys that things are getting better. So please continue, hashtag Boulder Strong. We're going to be putting a link in chat if anybody is able to find it kind of in their hearts or in their wallets to donate. We, as an EGF family, kind of want to extend that to you guys that, we see you, we recognize what is going on, and we can only wish you guys the best moving forward.
And it's only normal for them to put it in their name, right? It'd be kind of counterproductive if they didn't, right? So, I mean, tragedies happen, man. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, and I mean, you gotta support your family, those around you, those that are affected by this. So, do what you can. Even up here in Canada, we heard about this. So, yeah, let's move on from that and continue on here with the game that was at hand here. The game between Colorado and Connecticut here. What are your first thoughts here? Because Colorado comes out strong, and Connecticut is the one that ends off stronger.
Yeah, no, Connecticut definitely comes out strong, and we might see a little bit from Colorado. An issue that we see from a lot of other teams is going to be as simple as they come in strong and then they kind of burn all of their energy early on. So Colorado, they get, I think, 3 points super early on, and then after that, UConn, they're playing that slow, that long game. It's almost running a sprint versus kind of an endurance run, right? So we saw Colorado, they went for that sprint, they scored super early on, and then UConn, they're kind of playing that slower game, that long game, in terms to get things figured out. And now, I mean, the momentum's still in their favor. It is transferred from game 1 into game 2 here.
Right, exactly, and well, UConn is continuing on, and they get the early goal that you wish the teams would get, and that's an early momentum shifter, an early momentum breaker for both of these teams. It's definitely going to affect both teams going forward here. One team has a lot more morale, and the other one is doubting themselves just a little bit more here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what is going to be going on, viewers from Stream 1, you guys are going to be hanging out here with us for a little bit, I believe. So definitely going to be checking out this very close matchup so far from the University of Colorado and the University of Connecticut going toe-to-toe. And the score, it's going to be 1-0, almost a minute off the clock. Colorado with a super convincing start early on. They take 3 points in the beginning of the game, and then Connecticut really starts to flip things in their favor, and they really haven't dropped that momentum yet.
Oh no, Starvin! Oh no, that is quite inopportune. He tried to demo the person on defense there. I'm not sure who that was, but tries to bring in the demo. Instead, he makes the save on his own teammate's shot.
Yeah, we actually saw something very similar to that happen last game with DePaul, and they were still able to win off the back of it, but we have seen players blocking their own teammates' shots unintentionally quite a few times today. We're going to be a minute 15 off the clock, and Colorado going to be able to get one of their own online, tying things up 1-1.
Tied at 1 with Droy's getting a really weak touch. And what do you want Disaster to do here? He's left to dry, and well, he lifted himself up to dry himself, So he tried, but there was really nothing he could do.
Absolutely, like you said, there was nothing that could have been done in that short moment. And sometimes it's as simple as it sounds. Sometimes you just can't block the shot, right? It really comes down to wrong place, wrong time. And Colorado, speaking of not blocking shots, Starvin was starting for that goal and able to find it. Going to be 2-1 here. Colorado, now they're going to be playing that long game. They're coming out a little bit slower in that start, but as we get to 2 minutes off the clock, another great shot.
And Starvin, from everyone here on the field, Starvin's been that one that has the most vision of the field. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. Vision as in, like, he knows where the ball is at all times and knows where everyone else is on the field at all times. And so you saw him go for that demo, and that's a play that you don't normally see anyone else do. You don't see it very often, right? And in the first game, in the middle of a demo, through a smoke screen, he was able to get the ball directly on net. And, that's a third goal.
Yeah.
That's 3-1. That's another goal for Trix and his, dare I say, old TV screen fuzz decal.
Yeah, this
is. It looks like it, doesn't it?
This is going to be great for Colorado. I'm not sure Trix was even going for a goal there. I just think UConn did not have the defender they needed. We saw that same issue earlier on tonight, and we've seen it 100 times over and over. It's going to be some great value coming through from Colorado, as Connecticut. Just wrong place, wrong time.
It keeps on happening, but once again, it's a 3-1 game. But can this game finish differently? I mean, Connecticut started off strong. Now Colorado is coming back with a vengeance here, as they're spotting out weaknesses in the UConn rotation. Once again, it's the slowness of the UConn rotation and the double commits. It's really fighting them back.
Yeah, absolutely. It is fighting them back indeed. And it's going to be a lot of aggression coming out from Colorado to keep this momentum because they can win this one. Oh, a little bit high off the crossbar there. Not able to make it in a great turnaround there. From, I believe, Nitro. It may have been Disaster, but either of them doing a great job on the defense. They're able to get the ball out of goal. And they've got 2 minutes to score twice, which is very, very doable.
Yeah, definitely. But it's definitely doable, but it could have been 3. And, well, that's just a mishap. Those happened, but...
Absolutely.
yeah, it just happens.
Yeah, absolutely. It does happen sometimes. And Joyce with a great block there. Going to be a double shot coming out from Colorado, but Joyce must have just been right place, right time. It was really as simple as that.
And, I mean, you just love to see it, right? When you're right place, right time, and you get lucky like that. But now you need more than just luck to get back into this. You need a little bit of skill mixed into it. You need to show this Colorado team what you're made of. And show them that you're not here to just get swept, right? You're here to play, and that's a good save by Disaster there. That was a pass, and that is an important stop to make.
Absolutely, that is a very important stop to make as we saw a lot of aggression coming out. UConn, they cannot let any more points get past them. They need to keep this online, and they can score twice in a minute. It's tough, but it's doable. They just need to get possession of the ball. And as Vincent was saying earlier on, you can't play offense if you're stuck on defense. So perhaps they just need to get a little bit more aggressive, just like that. Already able, 60 seconds, 1 point left for them to tie things up and push it overtime.
And they absolutely do want to push this to overtime, or even just outright beat them in regulation, right? And that will be tough. That's 2 goals, as you said, in 1 minute. That's definitely doable. But 1 goal in 1 minute, I mean, we've scored at a rate more than 1 goal a minute so far, so it wouldn't be surprising to see another one. Absolutely, and hope for UConn to come back from that with less than a minute on the clock, and they got a very early goal and then a goal right off kickoff. But, you know, as possible as that is, it's feeling pretty unlikely as Colorado, they are not letting goals come through very often. Nitro goes for one high up, but that gave Trix plenty of time to get in the way of the ball. Starvin gonna go for a shot on an open goal with the defense. No, they're not gonna get there in time. Trix with the follow-up. I thought UConn had the block there, but Trix, right place, right time, able to score once again. Oh, wow, Trix!
Oh.
Wow! I don't want to say this pun, but taking that one out of your bag of tricks. Oh, no, that is a great flip with a great angle from the sharpest of angles, right? And just angle the car perfectly and get it on net somehow. That's not a shot that you'd normally see go in, and yet it still finds its way in. And with that bump, I think that's all over there. Droys had an amazing opportunity and gets bumped right out of the way before he could even score. And, well, they're in their own zone, barely able to get the ball cleared out. And we're off to game 3 here with a score of 2-0 in the series.
You know, somebody from Colorado went for another one right there at the end, I believe, but not going to be able to find it there. And like you said, we're going to be 2-0. This could be a 3-0 moving forward. We definitely, at least I expected this to be a lot closer between the two teams, but Colorado, they have had such an aggressive lead here. They shot on goal 13 times, UConn only 5. So there is quite the difference in aggression here between these teams.
Yeah, they were forced to save as many shots as, well, I mean, they shot on net, right? And they let in 4. And the fact that there were 13 shots on net, that means that there were a total of 4 shots that went off the post, right? And that's a lot of dangerous shots and shot opportunities that don't exactly go in. And for the opposition here, right, Connecticut, they had plenty of opportunities of their own, up high in the air. They could have tied it, right? But the shot from, I believe it was Nitro, came off very, very soft. And, I mean, you're able to stop those soft shots. If you can redirect the ball the way you want to redirect it with speed, it's very important, right? You need a mixture of both. Had that sharp angle shot by Trix not have any speed on it, it might have easily been stopped.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, it could have been stopped there. And we saw a couple of issues here and there where these players didn't have the boost they wanted to either, like I mentioned earlier, either get in the way of the ball or score with the ball. So we saw a big issue coming out from kind of both of those sides of that same coin. And I'm very curious to see how Connecticut's going to try to change things up here because they are down 2-0. This is a best of 5 or first to 3. So if Colorado is able to win this final matchup, then they're really going to be able to succeed and take the win from UConn in a 3-0.
And if they could do so, I mean, that'd be an incredible 3-0, but I expect UConn here to come back with a bit of a vengeance. I said that this would be 4 or 5 games, and in my head, I'm like, this could realistically be a reverse sweep. Colorado is known as a team killer, right? But if you can push through them and stop them from sweeping you, you have a relatively good chance of beating them yourself. Because they are, they come out of the gate strong, right? They're like a bull. And
right,
if you could tire that bull out, it'll be very hard for it to beat you over and over again. And I mean, right now they are strong. They are coming out faster, stronger. But if that can be withered, right? If that can be stopped and relaxed for one game here, I think completely this is UConn's, honestly.
Absolutely. I think this could go to UConn, but I think Colorado is just as likely to be able to take this one away and take that 3-0 victory. I think overall it's definitely something to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, definitely. Keep an eye on this, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere until this game's over.
Yeah, do not go anywhere until this game is over, because this is going to be quite the matchup moving forward. And I realistically think Colorado could take the best advantage they have and really take this one away. But again, like you said, UConn, they're a team that could definitely come back from this.
Neither team are quitters, I think, and I don't think anyone here has ever forfeited a game, right? And so
I don't think so. Yeah.
I mean, these guys are just not the type to do that, right? And they'll fight tooth and nail all the way to the end.
They absolutely will fight tooth and nail to the bitter end. And it's going to be 3 minutes. I mean, we're 2 minutes into this. Nobody has scored yet, but every time I say that, somebody does. So Colorado not going to be able to score there quite yet, but UConn, they get possession of the ball, and yep, here comes Trix, able to get it out of possession of UConn once again. And even if they don't get it in possession of Colorado right away, they've disrupted the momentum.
Can I just talk about how Trix just shifted the momentum here for Colorado with those 2 amazing opportunities that both went slightly wide, and they got opportunity after opportunity thanks to that, and now it just seems like the rotation of UConn was slightly altered by it, and it took them a solid 20-25 seconds, even though they had ball possession, to get proper rotations down. And right here, the rotations are weak. There's only one person on attack, and despite that, they're able to keep the ball in, and now no one's back, and this should be an easy goal. There you go.
Yeah, that's a free goal for Starvin there. Going to put Colorado in the lead with 2 minutes and 12 seconds left on the clock. That's going to be a phenomenal lead for them here. And it's only 1 point, right? UConn, 2 minutes, plenty of time. Cannot stress that enough. Plenty of time to turn this around. Maybe even take a lead, tie it up. But Colorado, you've got a lead nonetheless, and every single goal is so important.
Mm-hmm. And I think I actually called this, right? I called, oh, these rotations are not looking your legit rotations. And that's a great save there by Disaster, avoiding said disaster there with a great save. But yeah, I mean, those rotations are important, right? And if you have trouble keeping the same rotation going, right, and having to fight your players to know where they are, you're eventually just going to let in a goal like that from the other team's goal line. And that's exactly what happened.
So I think we've seen 2 almost full field goals coming through. It's going to be just a phenomenal turnaround there.
Right, and UConn now coming back with a vengeance, but once again, they're pushed up too high. Trix just shoots a little too wide, though, and that will not go in.
Yeah, not going to come in, just not going to go in quite yet. Now it's 1 minute 15, so UConn, you've just got to get 1 goal on board, right? You just want to find a single turnaround here, but Colorado, as these seconds tick by, it is looking more and more likely that they will be able to take this one away.
Yeah, just look at this. The pressure here. When UConn do this pressure on Colorado, UConn can't force them out of rotation. And that was the biggest part, right? Is that look at Colorado when they're on offense like this. They absolutely throw UConn out of rotation. And that's how this goal ends up happening, right? There's no one in the net.
Right, yeah, there's nobody in that here. And like you said, that's going to be a huge thing to keep an eye out for. And it's going to be an advantage Colorado has taken quite a few times. UConn, they have not really been protecting their goal. They've been pushing a little bit too far forward, excuse me. And now we've seen Colorado take full advantage of that.
Yeah, definitely. And why wouldn't you take advantage of that? Your team is, your opponents are just giving it to you.
Yeah, no doubt on that. Your opponents are handing you an open goal, but I was going to say, Colorado leaving the goal open themselves, and Nitro able to score off the back of it. That's going to be great. 33 seconds left. UConn got quite the task at hand. They need to score one time in 33 seconds if they want to tie things up here.
And, I mean, for UConn here, right? Connecticut. They need to go full force offense here. I know I just said rotations need to be maintained if you don't want to get scored against, but your backs are up against the wall, right? You're down 2-0, and you're down by 1 goal. You need a goal, right? Pull the goalie, pull a hockey play, right? Pull the goalie, go full offense, right? You got nothing to lose because your backs are up against the wall. You need to throw that Hail Mary play.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I think a Hail Mary play would be huge for them here. Just rushing in, trying to take out the goalie, and just walking the ball in after, I guess rolling it in. Rolling the ball in afterward would be huge, but now 2 seconds gonna be into 1 second, and this is pretty much over the ball. Gotta touch that flat surface in just a moment, perhaps. There we go. And the University of Colorado, they take a victory 3-0 over the University of Connecticut.
Yeah, that is an amazing game from everyone there. I mean, Colorado just played smart, and those last 20 seconds, I said, pull the goalie, get out, but there's one thing in hockey that you can't do, and that's pull the goalie while the puck is in your zone with opponent possession. And Colorado had full possession of that ball for the last 20 seconds. What do you want UConn to do there?
Yeah, no, it's definitely tough. And something of note is there was a 1 shot on goal difference. I believe it was Colorado that had 11 shots on goal, and Connecticut had 10. So for the score to be so it's such large gaps the way it was. I think it was 2-point difference there at the end. It's quite surprising to see after all those shots that only, I think, 3 made it through. We're going to be throwing into a quick break. We'll probably have an interview when we get back, and if we don't, well, you'll find that out when we get back. Don't go far, guys. A lot of Rocket League left to be played. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Septilence and Quantum Deathcat to bring you an interview here. You saw him all day long, getting goals left, right, and center. It's going to be Trix. How you doing, my friend?
Doing very well. Thank you.
I'm glad to hear it. I mean, after such a dominant performance tonight, I'm sure you guys are feeling pretty good. A 3-0 after a game that realistically Quantum and I thought were going to be pretty close, but you guys really just brought the heat all the way. I'm very curious to hear what you guys are going to do moving forward to kind of keep this momentum in your favor.
Yeah, well, this was a great showing from us. I think it was more comfortable than maybe we were expecting it to be. We had quite a lot of offense, and we didn't find ourselves ever really on the back foot. And
Right.
however, when we did eventually come on to defense from time to time, it felt like right when we got back off defense, they put all their assets forward, and so we were able to counter, and that happened a couple times, namely in game 2, I believe. Yeah, we're looking forward to playoffs, ready to learn from these and get better.
Get
Absolutely.
better? How do you get better when I did not spot a single double commit? I did not spot any real rotational mistakes from you guys, and every time UConn did, you guys took advantage. I don't know how you could play better than you did today. I don't think it was UConn playing bad today. I think you guys just played well, and so well, in fact, that I don't think you guys noticed how well you played. Because
Well, yeah, certainly we did play well. I think we had a good day, but it always looks different
on the screen than in the back.
it looks
the comms.
on replays it's always different.
Mhm.
Once you look at the replays, I'm sure the mistakes will be plentiful. We'll be able to tell where we made mistakes, and you can, no matter the replay, you can learn how to play better as a
Absolutely.
team individually.
Yeah, absolutely. That is, that is spectacular. We talked about that actually, Vincent and I, before Quantum joined me here. We were talking about players. It's crazy how you guys can get such dominant performances and dominant wins, and then we're like, yeah, that was great. And you guys always, no matter who it is, no matter which game I'm casting, it's always, yeah, but we could have done better. And I love that growth mindset. I love that all of you guys just bring it to the table 100% of the time, and I cannot commend you guys enough for that, especially after everything that has happened in Colorado recently. For you guys to show up and give it your all here at EGF, we cannot thank you enough for that.
Absolutely. Well, that's our job. We love what we do.
And we love to hear that. That's great.
Of course.
You gotta love what you do, and I mean, when your job is something that you love, right? When you do something that you love, it doesn't feel like a job anymore. And
Right.
well, it doesn't look like a chore for you guys to go out there and dish some amazing passes and some goals for everyone to watch.
Absolutely. Well, Trix, we will let you get back to celebrating with your team. But again, we love to see your commitment to both EGF and to Boulder Strong as well. Thank you all so much for joining us and being here, and thank you for joining us for the interview as well.
Yeah, of course. No worries.
Yeah,
Problem.
of course. Thank you.
Have
Have
a
a
good
great
evening.
night. And with that, folks, we are going to be throwing it to a pretty quick break here. I know that we've got, I have one more game coming up, and then Quantum, I'm not sure, might be following up the rest of the evening as well. I don't know who the schools are, so... Oh, I don't know. Yeah, okay, so we're going to send it to break, and we'll be right back with 2 brand new schools for you guys in just a moment. Don't go far.
At Quinnipiac, we see more than a campus. We see a community built to ignite passions. We see more than a degree. We see the careers of tomorrow. We see more than a student. We see someone destined to make an impact.
I'm from Chicago,
Cleveland,
Phoenix, Milwaukee,
Hartford,
Colorado, Oklahoma,
Thailand,
Norway, Cameroon.
and I chose
Xavier University.
for business, chemical science,
Occupational therapy.
philosophy, politics, and the public.
Computer science.
Because it felt like home.
I knew I would be welcome.
Because they take care of veterans.
I felt connected to the campus.
To the people.
The sports.
I came here to be a musketeer.
And now,
I am.
I am.
I am.
All for one.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Still Septilence and Quantum Deathcat here to bring you two schools that I'm pretty sure are the same color, but I'm colorblind, so I might be wrong. It's going to be Quinnipiac University versus Xavier University.
Let me squint my eyes here real quick, because I can't make the difference either, so don't worry about it. It's not your color blindness this time. I think they're actually the same color of navy.
You know, if they are not, they are mighty, mighty close. So that may be a little bit confusing, but if I'm not mistaken, Quinnipiac all have QU at the beginning of their name, and I don't know about Xavier. So that's something to keep an eye out on, more on the players' names than the team names this time around, just due to the fact that they are so incredibly similar. But I'm very excited about this matchup. So Quinnipiac is going to be in white, at least when it comes to the scoreboard. Our wonderful producer, Juke, just informed us of that, so thank you, Juke, for that. Makes our job a lot easier, that's for sure. And then also, I'm very excited to see, because Quinnipiac I've seen play a couple of times. I know I've seen them play in Smash. They made it all the way to the grand finals just recently in that MAC matchup. They did unfortunately come in second place, but making it to grand finals is incredible. And I would love to see the Rocket team, or the Rocket League team, come in with that same level of aggression, just that same level of performance here today.
Well, let's see if they can rocket themselves to a win here with some great plays, but it's Xavier, right? And Xavier are no slouches, right? Quinnipiac
Right.
are a decent team. I'd say they're a mid-tier team, right? They're not top of the top dogs, especially in Rocket League, but Xavier, they're top dog, right? And that would be quite the upset win for Quinnipiac here if they come out here with the W. And honestly, I could see Quinnipiac winning a game. I don't see them winning this series though, sadly.
You know, I think it would definitely be quite the mountain to climb. And Xavier, like you said, a force to be reckoned with. But Grub from Quinnipiac, I have seen this man overperform in the last couple of weeks, and it's been absolutely amazing. And Soulcake from Quinnipiac, I can only assume that's also Soulcake from the Smash team. So interesting that, you know, I would talk about that, and then he would be here as well. So that's quite fascinating.
I mean, when you have hand-eye coordination, right? Enough hand-eye coordination. Oh, wow! Look at that. Satisfied Onion comes in and scores a goal from his own, pretty much his own goal line there. And with just barely enough boost. And what do you want Grub to do there?
Yeah, Grub tried to line it up and tried to get out of the way, or tried to get in the way, rather, of the ball, but unfortunately the reaction time just was not there. And now 1 point on board for Xavier already. It looks like Valor already looking for another one, but the defense for Quinnipiac will be there on time. And now Brosif might gonna get another free one. That's gonna be 2 online for Xavier in the first 30 seconds of the match.
And you were talking about Soulcake, right? How he plays both in the Smash team and the Rocket League team. That doesn't surprise me. A lot of people who are good at one game are mostly good at other games as well. And if there's one thing about Smash that is similar to Rocket League, it's the controls, right?
Yeah.
You have a lot of different styles for controls in Rocket League, and well, right now having that Smash knowledge is not giving him the power to smash through the Xavier team. In fact, it's Xavier smashing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, I think the only real similarity is going to be kind of to the point that both these games are played on controllers, so it's something that is definitely something to keep an eye out on. Is that transfers over a little bit, because a lot of other games that we play are played on PC with a mouse and keyboard, but this is going to be a bit more of a controller base. So, you know, that may give Soulcake a very mild leg up, just that both the games that we've seen them in so far for Quinnipiac is going to be
poor Grub.
Going to be kind of
no.
similarity. And Satisfied Onion, again, 4 points online for Xavier. This is a bit of a massacre so far.
Look at Brosef here. He absolutely just bamboozles everyone on that wall there. Oh my god. I don't even think he realized what he just did until Satisfied Onion steals his goal. That is beautiful stuff. And well, there's a reason why Xavier is oh wow. This is gonna be rough for Quinnipiac. There's 13 minutes and 45 seconds left minimum.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of time left on the clock, and if Xavier can keep this up, I mean, it's been a minute 15 off the clock, and they are just absolutely stomping so far. So Quinnipiac, things are looking rough very early on for them.
I mean, at this rate, if they keep scoring at a rate of 1 goal every 15 seconds, as they have been for well the last minute and a half, this game's gonna finish 20-0. And right now, the record is actually 19-0, set by, I think, who was it that was up against Manhattan and did just absolutely tore them a new one. So someone decimated Manhattan 19-0, and I forget who it was.
Yeah, I also do not know who it is, but I would not be surprised to see Xavier get a really high-scoring game here as well.
Yeah, and Xavier, well, I mean, it's mostly, can Quinnipiac wake up enough to stop the bleeding, right? Because right now, they're hemorrhaging, right? They are, it's rough. Their arm is cut off, you know? The artery is in open air, right? They need to cover that off, and there's no bandages anywhere to be found.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be very rough for Quinnipiac. But at this point, 3 minutes left on the clock, and it's as simple as, you know, Xavier, they've won this one, right? You've got to reset the mental. It's got to be that GG go next.
They have 3 minutes, right, to get something going at least. And I mean, they have that time to be able to reset mentally. Okay, just let them score, let it get out of their system, right, and just bring them a surprise for the second game, right? And as long as that surprise isn't double digits getting scored on you again, I'd be very happy if I'm Quinnipiac.
Absolutely. And Xavier now, you know, they've just got to wrap it up, right? They're going to go and they're going to rack up this matchup very, very early on, 8-0. This is already almost impossible for Quinnipiac.
I think Quinnipiac just, I don't know, they insulted one of the Xavier team's mothers or something. I don't know what happened for Xavier to be this bad, to just go full on balls to the wall here and just no mercy.
Yeah, no, it is no mercy indeed. It has just been a phenomenal performance so far, but there's honestly not much left to be said for Xavier here. They have absolutely dominated this performance early on.
And, I mean, we're only halfway through this game, sadly.
Right, there's at least 2 left.
Yeah, exactly, and there's only at least 2 left, as, oh, that almost goes in, but Broseph can't even give them the courtesy of 1. Oh no, the mercy. There's no mercy rules in Rocket League, though. You can forfeit the game, of course, right? You can just reset to the next one, right? Forfeit this one game, but I mean, why would you not use up the remaining 2 minutes to try and reset yourself? Of course. I mean,
right.
Already you see it. Quinnipiac are already playing a bit better here, and they've reset quite better. And it shows that Xavier have actually not let off this gas pedal, that they're still going full force. So the fact that Quinnipiac have stopped the bleeding at this point, right? They've lost a lot of blood, right? But they've got the bandages found now.
Yeah, and I think something to keep in mind as well is Quinnipiac, they want to get at least 1 point on the board, and that's not really going to win them the game, but it's going to be great for team morale, because going into the second round, getting 8-0'd or 9-0'd, 10-0'd, as many as Xavier is able to score here, but if Quinnipiac can put anything on the board, that kind of could be a momentum shifter for them.
And I mean, look at this. I mean, just the way these guys, look at that. Satisfied Onion, right? Just lands, and his first instinct, right? Instead of just being like, oh yeah, I can just rotate out, is, oh look, there's a guy here I can bump out of the way. No one's gonna be able to make the save. It's 8-0, bro. Like it's not exactly necessary, so you know. So it shows that they're still playing at full force. It seems like they're using Quinnipiac here as not exactly a punching bag, but you know, a practice punch button, you know?
Well, we talked about this a little bit with the winner of that last game. We got to talk to them for just a moment, but it was all about, you know, we may have won in kind of a dominant fashion, but it's still a great time to practice setups and practice kind of control up against another team. So, you know, worst case scenario, we know that all 6 of these players are bringing their best, and they are trying their absolute best. And I've said it 100 times today, that is all we can ask for, right?
Of course.
Whether they win or lose, whether they get 10-0'd or 5-4'd, it's just you bring your 100%, and that's what EGF is all about.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you don't pull a Georgetown, right? You show up to your games, and that's all we can ask of you, right? 9-0 though. It's rough. Make that 10. Double digits.
Double digits. All right.
Double digits, and I mean, that's good for Xavier's momentum, right? They know that these plays, right, are absolutely bamboozling this Quinnipiac team. And I don't know if Quinnipiac will take this on the shoulder, being like, hey, in that second half, we kept it 2-0, right? Or will they see the game in its entirety?
Right.
How would you see this game if you're on the side of Quinnipiac, right? Did you keep Xavier to 2 goals after the first half? Or did you let in 10 goals in the game?
Yeah, I think there also is probably just a point where they were getting 6 or 5, 6, 7 points online, and they just unfortunately were not able to do much with it. And now looking at this, it looks like Smiggy may have been having connection issues for a majority of that game. So as far as we know, Quinnipiac could have just been playing a 2v3. And, not that I think the score would have been much better than 10-0, but there may have been a little bit more potential if they had all 3 of their players online.
Now, there is something to be said, right? Xavier shot 13 times, right? You got 10 goals and 13 shots, and none of those shots were weak. Like, let's be honest. Every single shot was a pass, or was just a deadly back wall hit, or a rebound shot, right? Only 2 saves on the sides of Quinnipiac. There was nothing they could do, right? They tried to position themselves as good as they could. They tried to get themselves in the right positions. They practically stayed on defense a majority of that game, and they just could not find anything. Sadly, because Xavier's just stampede. That's all I could say.
Yeah, Xavier just had a phenomenal performance all the way around there. And Quinnipiac, they lost their footing early on, and they just simply could not get back up from it. They tried to stand, they stood up, and they kept getting knocked down by Xavier. There was some phenomenal goals. And like you said, none of them were sloppy goals coming out from Xavier. They were all well-calculated and very impressive. And now we get to see if they can carry that momentum over into Game 2.
There was a game I casted a few months ago, and the team got 5-0'd. All right, you in that format you played all 5 games of the series, no matter what happened. So this is if this was practically the case, right, where one team just absolutely dominated all 5 games, and it just felt like, it's that 6th grade bullying the 3rd grader. Right? Like, just the first game was just them stealing the lunch money. The second game was him kicking him in the shins, right, and knocking him down. It's sad to say, but I mean, it's hard to like they're going for these early goals, right? They're just, for them, this must not feel any different than just going into solo queue, or not solo queue, but a matchmaking and beaming around.
I'm very curious to see if we're seeing some connection issues on the side of Quinnipiac, because the players just seem to be moving at a slower pace, and not in terms of like scoring or anything, but quite literally, 2 of the players from Quinnipiac don't drive at kickoff. They drive 2 seconds later, and that's not something you see often in Rocket League. So I'm curious if maybe they're just lagging very badly right now.
Right, but at the same time, you do have to say, right, that Quinnipiac aren't exactly the best team, right? And we saw this all season long in the first split, right? In the autumn split, they got themselves 3-5, I think, or 4-4. I'm not sure, but in that first split, I think they were 3-5. They played exceptionally well against teams that they matched up well against, but against the tougher teams like Xavier, like DePaul, right? They just didn't really have an answer, which I think it shows that they got better all season long, right? And every team, I think I said this too, about most teams here, that they just got better as the season got along. The ceiling is much higher for these lower tier teams, right?
Absolutely.
And I mean, that just means that when they improve exponentially better, right? And so Manhattan, every week they come in, it just shows how much better they are. You look at a game from Manhattan, right, in the first week of the autumn split compared to a last game, right? And you'll see massive differences in their play, massive differences in their opportunities. You match up. Who was it that was against them? Was it DePaul against Manhattan?
Yeah, DePaul versus Manhattan just a little bit ago.
Right. If you put week 1 DePaul versus week 1 Manhattan, I doubt Manhattan score a goal, right? And that's saying a lot, considering that Manhattan were able to score 2 goals, right? And it just shows how much better they got throughout the season. And at first, at the beginning of the season, they struggled to even just score a goal. And now they're doing it on a regular basis. They're scoring a goal per game pretty much.
Right.
And that's all you could ask.
Yeah, and something to comment on here as well is Quinnipiac, they have made this game notably closer, right? When we were at 2 minutes last time around, it was like 6 or 7-0, but Xavier now, they're not able to get these goals off as easily, so Quinnipiac taking a little bit, maybe a little bit too long, but it looks like they may finally start to be waking up a little bit. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to come through with a reverse sweep or anything, but there's just already been, we talk about improvement in the season, there's been improvement in the set right now, just from Quinnipiac as a whole.
Right, and that first game might have been that wake-up call, you know, like someone not knocking on your door. Hello, is anyone there? Come on, let's get it going. You're a little bit late here. And I mean, they finally showed up to their appointment, you know. And I mean, they haven't scored yet, which is the important bit, right? That's exactly what you said. They need to score. And well, I mean, Xavier right now are stopping themselves from scoring, as that's a save from your own teammate, but. The Quinnipiac, they just need an opportunity to score, and they haven't.
Absolutely. Yeah, and this game being so much better, even if, you know, whether you get 10-0'd or 2-0'd, if you're still losing in terms of points, you're still going to lose the round. But either way, still great progress for Quinnipiac, and I don't want that kind of pushed under the rug because they may lose the round. I'm very, very impressed to see the performance that they've made so far, just in terms of aggression and defense. And I really do think it may have been a lag issue because there's no way you go from a 10-0 to only a 2-point difference.
I mean, it depends how you view it, right? Because clearly this is a different Quinnipiac, right? This is a much stronger Quinnipiac. They're missing the ball a lot less. It seems like the rotations are a lot stronger too. That there's always someone back and able to stop it. I mean, Rosa trying to style there, not being allowed to do so though. With 25 seconds left though, the shots from Quinnipiac are just slim to none here to tie up this game.
Absolutely, and Xavier doing a phenomenal job here in terms of, they're not really going for those hyper-aggressive plays right now, they're just going to keep the ball away from Quinnipiac, and that's realistically all they have to do, but now a great pass on a satisfied Onion. That third one, I mean, this was already over, but the third one guaranteed it.
Right, exactly, just the dagger was at the throat, right, and they faked the throat, and they just stabbed right into the heart. That's this goal right here. They faked the throat, and they went for the heart. I mean, I said it earlier, right? It just seems like Quinnipiac are bloodied right now, right? And I mean, Xavier are. I mean, they're breaking them. They are not being gentle at all. But the fact that Quinnipiac brought it down from 10 goals to 3, right? This is a massive sign of improvement. The only sign that wasn't an improvement was a game from Soulcake. Did you see him at all?
No, Soulcake definitely did not have a very good round. And again, I think there may be some lag issues happening on the side of Quinnipiac. I don't know if that's actually happening. That's just kind of a hypothesis after seeing a little bit of their gameplay. But, you know, maybe Soulcake. Also, I don't think Soulcake normally plays for Quinnipiac's roster. They may, and I may be just wrong. I don't see them often. But I don't remember ever making the correlation that Soulcake played both of those games. I'm shocked it would have taken me this long to notice.
Right. Maybe he is their reserve player, right? And I mean, like we said, right? They're both controller games. There are some correlations. There are plenty of different moves to be done in Rocket League, just like in Smash, right? You have your up, you have your down, you have your side smashes. You have all those different kinds of controls for Smash, and the same thing can be said in Rocket League, right? And you have so many uses for the same button in both games, right? Let's say the A button in Smash can do 3 different things depending on what else you're holding. Same thing could be said in Rocket League. So all you need to do is learn the little tips and tricks in both games, right? And right off the bat, I think that Soulcake, if he never played Rocket League like a month before this game, I think that he's still better than the average Ghost Go just because of that controller experience with Smash.
Absolutely, and now we see a demo coming out from Broseph very early on. It's going to be in favor of Xavier, but again, that's a 2.5 second. That is a 3 second cooldown, so it hardly matters unless you know that it is coming.
It hardly matters, as you say. I mean, it's rough, but you got to try your best here. The goal is to at least score a goal, right? And to have the lead less than 3 goals, or if you're Quinnipiac, right? If you don't want Xavier to have an improved game, right? You want to show them that you improved game by game by game. Potentially even steal this game.
Yeah, they definitely want to seal this game up, but now this is the longest they've gone without scoring, over a minute off the clock here, and Quinnipiac doing a great job trying to find some value super early on, but Xavier, you know, they're not just going to let that slide, they're not just going to let that happen. I think this is, so far at least, looking like this could be Quinnipiac's best opportunity to get a first point on board.
I mean, you say that, but I think you can't do math real quick here, because Xavier's second goal came 17 seconds in of game 2, and their third goal came how many seconds left in the game? 2-3 seconds left. So they went 4.5 minutes without scoring, at least. And I mean, Quinnipiac here, they were able to stop them from scoring their first goal for 1:35. But how long will it take them to score their first goal? Because that's really what we're waiting for, right? That's really the last thing that needs to be put away here in their book, right? You write it down and just do it, right? Their to-do list. That's right.
Absolutely, and it's going to be, you know, that's all Quinnipiac wants to do is put this one game away. They want to put 1 point on board, just tie things up, and I would say 1-1, just a complicated 0-0. That's definitely something to keep an eye out on, because it could make some great value if they're able to tie things up. Their defense has gotten stronger. It's really their offense that seems to be lacking right now.
Yeah, and I mean, they're playing strong, and they're playing stronger defense too. I think we said it, right? When you really dominate your opponent, you take it more as training, right? And of course, if Quinnipiac show up here, right, and really, and if Xavier want to go for more of a defensive thing, right? Well, they'll let Quinnipiac come in and try to attempt to score, right? At least give them that kind of courtesy. And meanwhile, you're practicing your rotations on defense.
Yeah, we are definitely, we can see those great rotations coming out on defense, like you mentioned, and I think that would be great value for Quinnipiac if they were able to play a little bit more aggressive in terms of offense, and then utilize those rotations on defense to kind of make an opening for themselves.
Right, play like they would in a normal, let's say they go together into matchmaking, right? They'd love to play this way up against Xavier, and that's exactly what Xavier have allowed them to do pretty much, right? And I mean, oh, they almost get that first one, it just goes wide. They're gonna try for it, it's knocking at the door. They've tried for 13 minutes, they got 2 more, right? And score and tie this up. Is that it?
Oh,
Is that
an
it?
open goal. No, a little wide, and Soulcake just not able to find the shot there. Just very, very close, but unfortunately not able to make it. Quinnipiac definitely not looking good as these final 90 seconds are eventually going to come to a close here. Xavier, you know, this is obviously going to be the least they've won by, with only 1 point online in nearly 5 minutes. So, I mean, it's kind of insane to see Quinnipiac able to come back so strong after, what was that, 10-0 in the first game?
Oh, Grub, what are you doing there? What an amazing recovery by Grub, and that stops anything that Xavier wanted to do. And yet, Valor here, he's still gonna find the goal. No, he's not. How does that not go in? He was 1v3, and he almost beat the entire team, but it goes off both posts and goes out.
Yeah, 48 seconds left on the clock, and Quinnipiac, they got danger close to this being a 2-0, not in their favor, but somehow, some way, they were able to get it back out of their goal. We've got 40 seconds to find a goal, and at the very least, push us into overtime, but then they'll have to score again, which has really been difficult for them here up against Xavier.
It will be difficult, and let's see if Xavier allow them to do so, or if they put this one away. Currently, still 1-0 here. The ball is in the zone of Quinnipiac, and I mean, they're just playing so smart in terms of rotation both teams right now. A lot more sound, a lot better by Quinnipiac here, and I mean, props to Xavier here for showing up in the first game and really waking up Quinnipiac, because Quinnipiac are a lot better to look at after game 1. As this one won't go in. It was going to, but it's 1-0 at the end of it all. It's 3-0 at the end of this series. Awesome to see for Xavier. They really brought it home here, but Quinnipiac they played so much better, and that's a breath of fresh air. But there's gonna be one thing that lingers on them this entire time, and that's they never scored that goal.
Right. Unfortunately, they were not able to find that. And unfortunately, we are not going to have time for an interview. Actually, we do have time for an interview, but I'm having some tech issues on my end, so I unfortunately can't stick around. So we unfortunately aren't going to be able to have that interview happen here today. But thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. There's going to be another game at 9 p.m. EST, so it's a little bit of a break, about an hour. So keep an eye out for that, but I will not be there. It will be Quantum Deathcat and my good friend Bull Skunk, who you guys have probably seen on the EGF channel before. So this will be my sign-off. Everybody, check your posture, drink some water, and don't forget to love each other. I'll see you guys next week, but Quantum Deathcat, I'll see you guys in just a bit.
Yes. See you in a bit.